Jai Shri Ram and a very warm namaste to everyone. Today we are again here with Dr. Sharma,
Namaste.
and today we are going to discuss an important topic and a very discussed topic, I would say, about fats. Are fats good or they are bad? So I will ask questions to Dr. Sharma and he will keep telling me what is the right answer to all of them. So let's start with a very basic one. Dr. Sharma, how are you first of all?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Now to the main question. What are fats basically?
Yeah, fats are basically essential building blocks of the body. So you find fats in all the cell membranes, known as phospholipids, in combination with the phosphates. Fats are formed in the cell membrane of every cell in your body.
Okay.
That's why in Ayurveda it's said Sneha Saro Ayam Purush. Sneh, the name for fats in Ayurveda is Sneh.
Okay.
Sneh also stands for love,
Mm-hmm.
and same name for fats, which means that fats love and care the body,
Okay.
take care of the body, and they exude the emotions of love.
Mm-hmm.
Fats, that's why the name Sneh. So it said that Sneh Saro Ayam Purush.
Okay.
Purush is human, so human is basically a sar, or mean an extract of Sneh. There is Sneh or fats all over the body. So that's where in cell membranes, and then fats are important parts of our hormonal system. Many of the hormones are fat based,
Yes.
and then fat is an important fuel in the body. So we eat fats and then we burn the fats, and that's how we move.
Okay.
Apart from carbohydrates, also carbs are also important fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So all in all, fats are the building blocks in the body, and also the fuel on which that body runs.
Yes. Okay. So now that you've told me that fats are so essential to our bodies, then what is the best fat that we can eat to sustain that body of ours?
Yes, so in Ayurveda, basically, the best fat has been told is ghritam, ghee,
Okay.
and that too cow's ghee. That is probably the best possible fat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been told about ghee that madhuryat avidahitvat janma adev cha shilanat. Madhuryat, it's sweet in taste. So anything sweet is a building block of the body. Avidahitvat, vidah means heat or inflammation. Avidahitvat means anti-inflammatory.
Okay.
So it's highly anti-inflammatory. As you know now, many inflammations are going on in the body.
Yes.
So ghee is an anti-inflammatory. And Janmadev Chashilnath. Right from the very beginning, right from birth, it is a great food. It is for infants, there's so many foods we won't give, but ghee, right from the very beginning, ghee can be consumed. And then Dhi Smriti Medhadi Kankshinam Ghritam Uttam. So Dhi is also great for Dhi Smriti and Medha, which means for intellect, memory, intuition, for all this higher mental faculties. Ghee is great.
Okay.
So my teacher used to say that if we take the brain out and put it in a container and then keep ghee in a container, so both will be same.
Okay.
So the constitution of ghee is very similar to the brain.
Okay. So it's mainly constituent of fats.
Yes. So great for mental faculties also,
Okay.
apart from the body.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So ghee is the best one
Okay.
mentioned in the texts.
Okay. So there must be more forms of fat. Like even I know that there are more. Can you tell me what are those types of fats?
So 4 types of fats have been mentioned in Ayurveda. So Ghritam, Tailam, Vasa, Majja. So first is ghee, and then tail is oils like sesame seed oil, mustard oil.
It contains all the oils.
Oils, yes.
Okay.
So the basic difference is anything oil means it's liquid at room temperature.
Okay.
That becomes an oil, and ghee is, as you know, solid at room temperature, so it's ghee. So Ghritam, Tailam, these two, and then Vasa, Majja. Vasa, Majja are basically animal fats.
Okay.
So Majja is bone marrow, the fat found inside the bones.
Okay.
So those who eat meat and then they lick the bones, so that liquid coming out of the bones is known as Majja.
Okay.
And Vasa is basically the organ meat. So those who eat meat again fat,
Yeah.
the liver. Some people eat liver, kidneys. So that meat around the organs is vasa.
Okay.
So basically 4 types. So for vegetarians, it's grit and tail, ghee and tail. For non-vegetarians, it's another 2, vasa and majja. So 4 types, and ghee, as I told you, ghee is the best because of its own qualities. For example, vasa and majja, the animal meats will only have physical benefits. They don't really have psychological and mental benefits as much as ghee.
Okay.
Ghee is basically a super food for the mind, for the brain, apart from the body.
Okay.
That's why people who, for students, for those who are working in intellectual pursuits, anything related to intellect, mind, reading, all that ghee is great.
Okay.
That's why you'll give ghee to kids, to students. You won't give them other kinds of fats.
Oils.
Yeah, oils are great for eating also, and then oils are best for these massages. So you see the wrestlers and all, they'll do oil massages. Oil massage is also a part of the daily routine, dinacharya according to Ayurveda.
Okay.
And vasa or majja, as I told, are different, and they will require huge amounts of exercise to digest.
Okay.
That's why if someone is in the military or in sports, he would eat vasa majja. But they require huge amounts of exercise. Ghee and tail also require exercise, but lesser as compared to vasa and majja.
Okay.
So they're easily digestible.
So what kind of fats should we eat? Or should we eat fats?
Yes. So that's also a very pertinent, very important question. I will have to talk about a little bit about history here.
Okay.
So you might ask me I know where this question comes from. Should we eat fats? Because you might have heard something bad about fats.
Yes,
Is it
always.
so?
Yes. I've heard a lot that fats are bad. When I was small, I also used to hear that ghee is bad.
Yeah, and fats give heart attacks and they
Yes.
stick to the arteries.
Yes.
So it all started in 1958 when an American scientist named Ansel Keys, he presented a paper on national television, American national television. He actually appeared on the television, and he said that he has performed some experiments, and the result of that experiment is that fats like ghee and fats that come from meat, so they are bad and they give heart attacks. So he did researches on animals in his laboratory, like guinea pigs. So in those researches, but he did not disclose on the television that he was not feeding them actually natural fats. He was feeding them unnatural fats.
Okay.
Like refined oils.
Okay.
In those days, the refined oil used to be margarine, and then cottonseed oil. This oil they extract from cottonseed.
Okay.
So how did refined oils come? That's another history. So it was in 1800s.
Okay.
Napoleon, as you know, Napoleon was sailing with his army. So he needed some food for his army which could stay long.
Okay.
Because butter was an important food, but butter goes bad on long voyages.
Okay.
Butter goes bad, it goes stale. So you cannot take butter and these things on long voyages. So he was looking for a cheap butter. Also, he needed something cheap.
Okay.
So he had also a scientist in his army. So it was then this refined oil was invented.
Okay.
They took some very bad and cheap animal fat and they sent it through an industrial process, and that's how refined oil was born.
Okay. That was the start of it.
The start of it. It was also known as cheap butter.
Okay.
Cheap butter. So in those days, refined oil was not oily, but it was more thick.
Okay.
So that's how it was born, and this kind of fat was fed by the American scientist I was telling you. So he fed to his rats and guinea pigs that not natural but industrial fat.
Okay.
And he came to the conclusion that fat is bad. He didn't say that industrial fat is bad. He said all fat is bad. So, and this was like a doomsday for good fat. The American Heart Association then followed his advice because he was a big figure in America in those days, and although he was not a heart surgeon or anything, he was not an heart expert, he was a PhD.
Okay.
So his advice was followed by the American Heart Association, and it was declared that fat is bad. So that's where this comes from.
Okay.
So difference between Ayurveda and this concept is that let's say you're healthy, super healthy. Ayurveda will say that you should eat fats. You can eat all kinds of fats. The modern science will say you cannot eat. You cannot eat fats. Now it's changing, although it's an old story now.
Yes.
Now slowly it's changing, and they will say that fat is allowed to a certain extent.
Yes.
So they'll still have a caveat that fat is good, but to a smaller degrees. If, however, you are sick, if you have certain illness, then even according to Ayurveda, in that period, fat might not be great for you.
Okay. Can you tell me some of those diseases when we
Yes.
should avoid fats?
So, na tu ati mandagni sthul durbala. So, ati mandagni, which means excessive loss of appetite is there, then ghee is not good, or any fat is not good. Excessive loss of agni.
Okay.
If there is a small loss of agni, if your appetite is low, then ghee or fat will be great, because it's just like a candle. If a candle or a lamp is about to die, and then you add more oil to the lamp, so it will light up.
Yes.
But if it is excessively low, if the digestive fire or metabolism is excessively low, then this fat will kind of extinguish it, or it will overwhelm the fire. The fire will be overwhelmed and it will die. And then ati stool, excessive obesity.
Okay.
Up a certain level of overweight, the fat is great.
Okay.
Because you see, what happens is when you eat fat, you eat less of carbohydrates.
Yes.
And fat burns slowly. It gives you energy all day long. Once you've eaten good fatty meal, it will give you energy all day long. Slowly it burns.
Yes.
Whereas carbohydrates, there is a spike of energy.
Yes.
And then you need carbs again and again and again. And extra carbs are then stored as fat again.
Okay.
So carbs lead to obesity more than fat. So fats are great, but excessive obesity after a certain level, then fats are not good.
Okay.
And then ati durbal, which means excessive weakness. If let's say somebody is bedridden, he's on bed, and then you load him with fats, it's not good.
Okay.
Then he has to slowly eat simple carbs and then simple proteins, and then slowly come to carbs.
Okay.
So everything excessive obesity, excessive weakness, and excessive loss of fire. These will be some of the conditions where this is not good. And then in situations like diarrhea or vomiting, then also fats will not be good. Otherwise, generally speaking, fats are great.
Okay. Recently, I've also started hearing about refined oils and how they are bad. So, first of all, what is a refined oil and how is it different from other fats like ghee or like olive oil, I would say? And what harm does it do to our body?
Yes. So refined oils are basically, they are drawn from seeds. Let's say sunflower oil will be taken from sunflower seeds.
Okay.
And then cottonseed oil from cotton seeds. And then what we call alsi tail, flaxseed oil from flax seeds.
Okay.
So otherwise the seeds are great. Let's say take example of sunflower seeds. If you eat whole sunflower seeds, they are great. They are loaded with what is known as polyunsaturated fatty acids. PUFA.
Okay.
So you have to understand that fats are made up of fatty acids, building blocks. Like proteins are made up of amino acids. A fat molecule is made up of fatty acids, are the building blocks of fats. These fatty acids are different kinds. Saturated fats, saturated fatty acids. For example, ghee. Ghee is made up of mostly saturated fatty acids, 40 to 50%. So what is a saturated fatty acid or saturated fat? Saturated fat basically means something which is saturated, something which does not will not react because it's saturated. It's satisfied. It will not react. It doesn't have double bonds.
Okay.
In saturated fats, there are no double bonds. If there are no double bonds, there is no potential to combine with something else.
Okay.
So, whereas unsaturated fatty acids, they are not saturated, not satisfied, so they have the capacity to bind with something.
Okay.
So these sunflower seeds, for example, have polyunsaturated fatty acids. Poly means multiple. They have multiple capacity to bind with something that is hungry to bind with it.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So when these seeds are heated to extract oil in the industry, because it's difficult to extract oils on industrial scale from these seeds. In olden times, we had what we call wedge press or kolu
Okay.
in homes, where we would grind seeds slowly.
Okay.
Yes, but that doesn't work on industrial scale. On
Yes.
industrial scale, what they do is they heat the seeds and then extract oil in big machineries. So what happens is these in the presence of heat, these polyunsaturated fatty acids, they break down and they combine with the free radicals.
Okay.
So again, what's a free radical? Free radical, for example, is a reactive oxygen species.
Okay.
We call it oxidation,
Okay.
not oxygenation. Like when I breathe in oxygen, I'm taking oxygen. That's great. But there's another process known as oxidation.
Oxidation. Yes.
Oxidation, like the rusting of iron,
Corrosion.
and that's oxidation. Oxygen combines with that iron.
Okay.
But that's not O2 oxygen. That's superactive oxygen known as O2 negative.
Okay.
Same is produced in the body also. Inside the body, there are mitochondria which burn and produce energy.
Yes.
While this energy is produced, just like in any factory, when some energy is produced, there is a byproduct or a waste product. Similarly, in the body, when mitochondria produce energy, they produce as a byproduct these reactive oxygen species, hungry oxygen.
Yes.
We also call it superoxide. That's produced, and it's super hungry to bind with something. These are known as free radicals. Free. It's free to bind with something. So this oxygen, so what happens is when we eat these refined oils, the one I said, like sunflower oil,
Yes.
when we eat this, now you remember sunflower oil, polyunsaturated,
Yes.
produced by heat. It is also hungry because it's unsatisfied, unsaturated. It's hungry to combine with something.
Yes.
So we eat this oil, and inside we have this hungry oxygen, O2 negative. It's also hungry to bind with something. So they bind together.
Okay.
They bind together. So this process is known as oxidation of oils. So a very bad thing is produced then.
Okay.
A very bad product. Combination of this reactive oxygen and this refined oil.
Okay.
So fat is a unique thing. Like good fats like ghee are the healthiest foods possible.
Yes. They're like a superfood.
Superfood. And on the other end of the spectrum, a refined oil will be the worst possible food. Both are parts of the same family,
Yes.
but one is great and one is the worst.
Okay.
So this is how this refined oil is bad because of the polyunsaturated fatty acids.
So should we just stop consuming refined oils?
Yes,
Will that help? Uh, that knowing that we have already consumed so much refined oil through the age.
yeah, that body will take care. What we've already consumed, that you can burn it out with exercise and good eating
Okay.
and with a lot of antioxidants. But the story doesn't end here. Like you stop cooking in refined oils, that's not enough. You are still eating refined oils by eating outside. Like all bakery items
Yeah.
will have refined oils.
Yes.
All samosas, puris, all these will have refined oils. So refined oils are everywhere. Even in your breakfast cereals, you eat this muesli and all. They will be they will have a lace of refined oils.
Yes.
So what refined oils do is refined oils make things very crispy, which good oils like ghee cannot do that.
Okay.
If you fry something in ghee, it will still be sticky.
Okay.
If you fry something in refined oil, it will be very crispy, you know.
Yes.
How crispy are samosas and all.
Yes. Chips. Kurkure.
Chips, kurkure, samosa are very crispy. Uh, because refined oils, we say, are not real oils. They are so reactive. They don't have the gun of snigdhta as much. Snigdha, as I said, sneha is fat.
Yes.
Synonym of fat is sneha. But these refined oils don't have sneha in them. They have more vata element, wind, dryness. That's why anything they come in contact with, they make it more dry, crispy.
Yes.
So the same refined oils, when they combine with the super oxygen and when they go inside the blood vessels, they even fry the inside of the blood vessels. So the inside of the blood vessels is like fried, deep fried.
Okay.
People who died of heart attacks, then the autopsies were done on their bodies and they saw the blood vessels were fried.
Okay.
So this is all by refined oils.
Okay. So what about mustard oil?
Yes, so mustard oil is what's known as monounsaturated fatty acids. So I said there are saturated fats like ghee, and there are on the other
Polyunsaturated.
end of the spectrum, polyunsaturated, means multiple points of entry.
Okay.
And there is a monounsaturated, like mustard oil, like sesame seed oil, and
Is olive oil also
olive oil also, monounsaturated fat. So it's good, very healthy, and there is only one double bond. That's why mono. Mono means one.
Yes.
So there is one point of entry. It can also bind to the free radicals, but it's difficult to bind. It's not easy. So that's why they are relatively healthy,
Okay.
very healthy oils. And if you talk of heating, so ghee has the highest flash point. Flash point means where it starts burning.
Yes.
So for high temperature cooking, ghee is great.
Best.
The sesame seed and mustard oil are a little below that. And as I said, the other oils, the polyunsaturated fat, they cannot take heat at all.
Yes.
They'll quickly break and
That's why it's easier to fry with them.
yes.
Okay.
So they'll easily break. And when we fry with them again and again, as they do in the restaurants, they become trans fats, like very bad. They turn black.
Yes.
They are fully charged with the free radicals.
Yes, I've seen almost in every restaurant I've been to that have like open cooking areas. The oils are black usually.
Okay.
They keep using the same oil again and again.
Yes, yes.
So should we avoid eating at such restaurants that
Yes,
use the
yes.
same?
We should run away from there.
Okay.
In some countries there are rules for you cannot heat it twice, thrice,
Yes.
and they follow the rules. But
I don't think here it happens that much.
no.
Okay. So that's actually pretty scary at the same time. So if we have to live a healthier lifestyle, we just have to stop eating out. That's the only conclusion I can get into, or we should only go to higher end restaurants.
Yes, where they might be eating, using good oils.
Yes. Where they mention it specifically.
Yes, like ghee is mentioned. So ghee can take it any amount of heat.
Okay. So is occasional eating also bad of these oils, the polyunsaturated fats?
You see, body has great capacity to heal itself. So as we discussed in one of the earlier podcasts about incompatible foods, where we said if we eat here and there, it's not bad. So same applies here also.
Okay.
Eating once in a while, body has
Won't
enough
affect you.
capacity. That will not do anything.
Okay. So I can have that samosa sometimes.
Yes.
Okay.
So another important thing is that vyayam to snigdha bhojinam. So if you are committing yourself to eat more liberal fats, then you should also commit to exercise.
Okay.
Vyayam to snigdha bhojinam. Snigdha bhojan, fatty food, will be metabolized by good amounts of exercise. If you are planning to be a couch potato, just sit around and work on the computer, then you have to be careful because then fat will not be metabolized. So that's why fat was such an integral part of food. A few centuries ago, people used to move around. There were no means of transport,
Yes.
so people used to walk
Yes.
and exercise, and that's why they used to digest fats. So it's essential to exercise if you are eating fats. And you even know that fat was the one which is important for evolution from apes to humans.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yes, so monkeys were living in these rainforests, and slowly the rainforests they shrunk because ice age came.
Yes.
So ice kind of dominated the rainforests. So there was less of fruits and all. So the apes had to venture out of the forests into the open, and they started hunting. Once they started hunting and started eating meat, they got more fats.
Okay.
And fats then enter the brains,
Yes.
and that's what made them more intelligent, and that's what made the posture erect.
Okay.
And they then started walking, and they became the hunter gatherers. They started hunting with weapons. So fats are responsible for evolution.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yes.
Yes. So as you said that fats are better digested if someone is working out. I've usually seen the opposite way around. Like if somebody is going to the gym, that person avoids ghee, that person avoids all kinds of oils, and somebody who doesn't go to the gym is usually the one who's eating all of those fats.
Yes.
So should gym goers who are not professional bodybuilders, really hardcore bodybuilders trying to go into a competition, should they also restrict their fats like ghee?
No, they shouldn't. On the contrary, they should increase the dosage of ghee.
Okay.
What happens is that ghee and fats are important for functioning of the joints also.
Okay.
The synovial fluid, the synovial, the joints are connected with each other. The bones are connected.
Yes.
That's how we form the joint.
Yes.
So this layer of fats, what separates them.
Yes.
So if there are not enough fats, the bones will rub against each other, and that can lead to arthritis and all.
Okay. So the decrease in fat.
Yes.
Okay.
And fat as a fuel. Fat will give the gym goers a good solid fuel,
Okay.
and they will not be then munching on the carbs.
Yes.
They will not feed on the carbs as much. Fat will give them energy during the exercise and after exercise.
Okay.
So where this comes from, I understand where this comes from is because now the cosmetic looks have become so important.
Yes.
If old time wrestlers, you see, they used to eat a lot of fats, a lot of
Yes.
ghee, and they were strong.
Yes.
Strength was the main concern there.
Yes.
They were very strong than the modern day gym goers.
Yes.
In gym goers, it's more about
Aesthetics.
and looks and the curves. So maybe that's why they think that they should not eat these dairy and fats. But from a purely health standpoint and from purely strength standpoint, this fat should be eaten.
Okay, so great advice. And moving on to the next question, I've also heard that we should change our consumption of fats according to the seasons. So, how much is that true, and how should we adapt to it?
Yes, so seasonal eating is very important. Fats are more dense, heavier foods. That's why they should be eaten more. We should increase the quantity in winters,
Okay.
because in winters what happens is our metabolism is higher. The we are wearing good clothes. We don't lose heat. The heat is trapped inside the body in the winters.
Okay.
We in Sanskrit will call it pindikritam, like a pindi, like a shivalingam. It's dense. Same as the Agni becomes dense and concentrated inside in the winters. So this fire then demands rich food, heavy food like fats.
Okay.
And this fire also demands heavier exercise. So we should eat more fats in winters and exercise heavily in the winters.
Okay.
Unlike what many people think that, oh, it's summertime, we will hit the gym.
Yes.
And in winters, we will hit the blanket,
Yes.
we'll hit the bed. But according to
It's the
Ayurveda,
opposite way around.
the strength, digestive strength and physical strength is maximum in winters. And so the food has to be heaviest in the winters. That's why, our winter festivals are eating festivals, starting right from Deepavali, going all the way to Lodi, and all these are all eating festivals. You eat nuts, dry fruits, you eat seeds, sesame seeds, you eat ghee, everything roasted in ghee.
Yes.
So all these are feasting festivals, not fasting.
Okay.
Fasting festivals will come in March, April.
Okay.
So that's why more fats according to what you can digest. So you should eat more in winters, and in summers you should eat lesser.
Okay.
If you are living in area where it's very hot, it goes beyond 40s. What happens in summers is body will lose heat. The heat will go out.
Yes.
So less fire inside, less Agni, low metabolism.
Yes.
And so heavy rich fats cannot be digested properly, so you should eat a minimum
Okay.
less fats in summers. So that's how you change.
Okay. But there is a notion going on in gyms these days that they call it winter arc. We call it winter arc. So we prepare ourselves that we're gonna bulk in the winters, but nobody really knew why they're doing that, and there was just a notion because like they all somehow unconsciously and subconsciously realize that they are gaining more weight in winters.
Yes.
Hence came the winter arc, and now we have the answer to it, like why the winter arc happens, and it's because heat is trapped inside the body, and we are able to better digest the fats.
Better digest and store. Just like bears, they go on winter hibernation and they store, bulk up the fats.
Yes.
But we are not bears, we are active, so we should bulk up but then also expend it.
Yes. So now to the last question. It's related to Ayurveda, and I wanted to ask if fats are used in Panchkarma, and how they are used in Panchkarma.
So fat is, especially ghee, is a great use in Panchakaram. Panchakaram is a detoxification procedures in Ayurveda. So as in my earlier videos I have discussed that these water soluble toxins are easy to lose. Every day you lose water soluble toxins in your sweat, in your urine, in your breath. Fat soluble toxins, especially the bad fats, the polyunsaturated fatty acids, the refined oils, they combine with the free radicals and they sit deep inside the body. And they cannot be pulled out by water. They cannot be pulled out by eating lots of fruits or vegetables. They are sticking inside.
Okay.
And only good fats can pull them out. So we send in ghee.
Okay.
Sesame seed oil massage from outside and ghee, drinking ghee from inside.
Okay.
And ghee goes inside and binds to these bad fats.
Okay.
And then this combination of ghee and bad fats, it is pulled towards the liver through the bile.
Okay.
Bile is another substance which is basically excretion of fats. Bile helps in excretion of fats through the gallbladder.
Okay.
and then we induce diarrhea or vomiting, and then we pull out the bad fats in this way. And these oils, not ghee but oil, sesame seed oil is also used in enemas. Through the anus, we push in enemas.
Yes.
So this is again a great way of restoring your gut microbiome.
Okay.
You know, there are 100 trillion bacteria in your gut, in the lower gut mainly. This deserves a separate topic. We'll have a separate podcast on this. But this bacteria, they like oils. They feed on oils, especially short chain fatty acids, shorter chains. But they don't get as much oils because we eat oils and then the stomach digests it and it enters the bloodstream. By the time it reaches the large intestine, very little maybe reaches. So when we give oil directly through an enema, it really feeds the good gut microbiome. And then there's a lot of research now. Once the gut microbiome is happy, the whole body feels happy. It sends signal to the brain through the vagus nerve, which connects your gut to the brain. So the brain health improves, the whole body status improves. So there's a great use of oils and fats in Panchakaram. And talking of gallbladder, it's very important. This ghee is very important for a healthy gallbladder as well. As you know, gallbladder constricts when we eat a fatty meal. It causes constriction of gallbladder. Once we stop eating healthy fats and we start eating those junk fats, the gallbladder doesn't contract. It just sits still, and the bad fats, they stick onto this gallbladder, and then you get gallbladder pain and then the gallbladder surgery.
Then eventually you have to remove it.
And thereafter people lead healthy lives. Why? Because in the first place they were not eating healthy fats. Gallbladder again evolved as the hunter-gatherers in ancient times. They started eating hunting and eating too much fat. That's how the gallbladder evolved. Let me store some fat. But when we don't eat healthy fat much, then the gallbladder is disturbed by the bad fats and it has to be removed. Once it's removed, it won't cause much problem because you were not eating healthy fats
in the first place.
Yes.
It's such a bad effect of having bad fats.
Yes.
I have some friends that have their gallbladders removed. And they don't seem to have a problem with it, but now I see that it is a big problem that your gallbladder.
They would have had problems if fat was a rich part of our diets. If they were eating a lot of desi ghee, butter, they'll not be able to digest it without a healthy gallbladder. But as we are not eating those foods, that's why it's not much of a big deal now.
I've also seen them not being able to digest the good fats.
Yes.
So whenever I see some of my friends having something which has a lot of ghee, and they run to the washroom.
Yes. So gallbladder has bile, which helps in digestion of fats. Bile is also a very fascinating topic. We'll do some video separate on this one.
So it was a great topic so far. We have gotten so much information out of this podcast. And if you have any doubts, make sure that you leave a comment below. And I'm sure that, as always, Dr. Sharma will reply to all of them, like he always does. And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you, Dr. Sharma.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.